Tucker Rosemyer is the owner of Slice Pizzeria. Oftentimes takes a little slice out of other topics, not just pizza. I'm trying to be clever. I'm not doing very well.
Cheesecake, too.
Cheesecake as well. Your cheesecakes are really good. Medical marijuana, though, is an issue for you right now.
I have to correct you, Bill, because my brother has taken over the pizzeria, and I stepped aside in the pizzeria and the bakery.
Didn't even know that.
Yeah, this is something new.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what are you doing now? So this is...
I brought some shirts for you guys.
I see you have.
From,
thank you.
A couple larges, couple extra larges. I don't know what size you were today.
God knows. It's up and down, man. It's up and down.
Depending on how much pizza you're eating.
That's a good point. All right, so what do you... Is this your new business?
It's called Soul Remedy Apothecary, and it's going to be on Genesee Street in the same plaza as Slice.
Okay.
So what we're doing there is like a little spiritual, metaphysical place where we'll offer CBD and hemp along with some of the items that I pick up in my travels in South America. I brought home some crystals from Bogota, some clothes, other healing things like that.
And these are healing, physical healing as well as spiritual.
The three facets of healing: spiritual, mental, and physical. You know? So we're going to incorporate all three things there.
All right. You had mentioned medical marijuana. You were a little bothered at where New York has gone when it comes to medical marijuana.
Yeah, I've been in Vegas recently. I've been in California, and it hasn't seemed to ruin the society there at all.
Right.
By
and that's legalization of recreational marijuana.
Yeah, that's recreational out there.
Yeah. So you feel that New York has not gone far enough? They haven't really been able to get it done.
I mean, I've seen my grandmother uses marijuana products. You know, and she's 92 years old. She has cancer. And she uses it twice a day, you know, and it provides relief to her.
How does she?
She uses it in tincture.
Okay. And what is that? I don't even know what that is.
Okay,
so you inhale the...
she's not smoking it, you know. So the cannabis plant, you know. Well, first off, let's clear the air about the cannabis plant. Is that hemp and marijuana? They basically come from the same plant, but what's legal in New York now is the hemp plant, which has. Where the THC Delta 9 strain, one of the cannabinoids, is only at 0.3. So that's legal on a federal level across the country, in New York as well. If it's above 0.3, then it's illegal in New York State unless you have, medical marijuana card.
Is your grandmother using the legal stuff? Legal in New York?
Yeah.
Okay, I noticed.
We don't want the UPD showing up at my grandmother's door,
never
checking her card.
A little roll of the eyes there, though.
Make sure it's less than 2 ounces.
Speaks volumes. And you feel they should just let loose and
I'm talking across the board because the link that I sent you was in regards to what was going on in Oakland as far as psychedelic healing. Am I talking too loud?
No, you're good. I'm just
psychedelic
track of your levels.
Taking ayahuasca, we discussed that the last time. Iboga, we discussed that the last time, and along with psychedelic cactuses like San Pedro. I'm
told that we have a plant at our house that is used in this fashion. It's called the angel's trumpet.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that?
I've saw them at Machu Picchu when I was there. Yeah.
Okay.
Get out.
So what they do, if I'm correct, and
you serving this at your 4th of July party?
No. But I'll tell you, I guess you could drop one of the flowers into your drink or something, which I would suggest you don't do. But we've been warned that you can go blind with this with the flower. There's things but that it was Selkie, if you remember. She was on America's Got Talent, the amazing performer. She said in Australia, the angel's trumpet is used. I guess they boil it down and they use that for psychedelic healing purposes.
It's used across the board. They actually used to give it to like babies to help them sleep. You know, the guy when I was at Machu Picchu,
like a little liquor on the gum.
Yeah. So they're using it across the board, but they're also, they could give it to. It's known to like you'll empty your bank account. It's like it almost puts you under a spell where if you're served this stuff that maybe in a ceremonial way, I can't speak for that because I've never used it.
Yeah, you become submissive.
You become submissive, and you're like, oh yeah,
whatever.
Go your bank account and
go take my money.
I gotta get some of that angels whatever from your yard.
Angel's trumpet.
Angel's trumpet.
It's an actual plant that is legal. I think anyway.
A lot of them are legal as long as you don't use them or try and manufacture them to change them at all.
So you'd be happy if all of this stuff was just
maybe some type of regulation. I don't know. I'm not going to say that these should be sold on the stores in Walmart or anything like that.
Okay.
But when we take it on a religious, for religious freedoms and our spiritual practice, then I think that should be allowed legally.
Well, and these are all, like
different.
you say, plant-based,
Plant medicine.
I just have to. So we've gone from a medical assisting you medically for maybe someone with cancer, but to
spirituality,
which is religion.
So
you're
for
getting
me,
into.
it's helped me
different.
across the board with my own healing, with addiction, alcoholism, mental illness, depression, anxiety, and it's taken me. It's been almost 2 years since I was here the last time when we talked about it, but I've seen it help hundreds, if not thousands, of people from all over the world. And they either have to do underground ceremonies or go to South America, Costa Rica, Mexico. I was just in Bogota a couple weeks ago. I've gone to Mexico. I've done a mushroom retreat in Mexico, Psilocybin, and that's now decriminalized in Denver.
So the psychedelic mushrooms that...
Yeah.
I got a buddy out in Oregon. He's getting his master's degree specifically in that, or his doctorate.
You do wonder if some of these therapies using natural ingredients like this could help when it comes to this awful, terrible opioid crisis we live in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Specifically, ibogaine, where it's used to treat opiate addiction. I think we had a discussion on that before. But aside from that, the mushrooms are being. They're giving them out in clinical trials in MIT and NYU for people that are dying of cancer. They're giving a dose of psilocybin, and they come out and they're not afraid to die anymore. It's helping them treat their mortality with this. And this is being done across the country. They're using MDMA. They're using a lot of these things that the government once classified as no medical use. And obviously, with medical marijuana, getting back to that, we know that there's medical use now. So it's invalid.
I do want to ask you, though, that what do you say to people who are looking? It's just you're just taking drugs. You're just you're going on a trip. Never having to leave the farm.
It's not like when you take any of these types of psychedelic medicines that it's fun, because a lot of the time you're purging. So this is either pooping in the bathroom for potentially 4 to 6 hours, throwing up, crying. It is not fun. It's not a joyride.
So you feel it's more like a detox type?
100%.
Really? Oh,
100%. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you, you're looking with a perplexed look on your face.
What is it? That's the psilocybin again, or is that?
Well, purging could happen with anything like
these words.
Any of
I
these
don't even have any clue. Of
I mean, if you saw, what was that one movie with Lou Diamond Phillips? He went on a vision quest. A lot of times they puke in the beginning, and that medicine could be like 12 hours. That's mescaline. That's in peyote. It's also in San Pedro. I did San Pedro in the Andes Mountains in Peru, and we started at 8 in the morning, and it was 8 at night. And at one point in the middle of it, I looked into my hat to see if someone was there. But when you come out of I looked into my cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And when you come out of it, though, like it does something in your brain to where it rewires it. They're using psilocybin for treatment of depression, and it works better than Prozac. They've been using it for thousands of years.
And this works for you.
This has worked for me.
Yeah.
Now, it's been, ebb and flow, up and down with it.
Yeah.
But I've never felt better in my life. The last 2 years of my life have been absolutely amazing. I've met wonderful people. I've restored relationships. I talk openly about it. It's not taboo, because we need to take this out of the closet because, this, that, or the other thing. People cast judgment on how you are healing, but the proof is in the pudding.
They're probably passing judgment right now as we speak.
Fine. That's fine, and we send love to those that pass judgment.
Okay, all right. Because you do seem to be traveling the world. You're going all over the world.
At least in this hemisphere right now.
Yeah.
I've yet to cross the ocean. So.
All right. What do you say to, like we had recently, Sheriff Rob Mashal on, who feels that the passing of or the legalization of marijuana is going to cause, in some cases, he believes people are going to die because of this?
Well, I mean, come on.
Okay,
there's no reported cases of death from marijuana ever.
Well,
Ever.
He's
you
talking
could be
Driving.
people who are
Okay, yeah, we
driving
will-
under the influence, that
But
sort of thing.
you are correct. Nobody's ever
I
OD'd on
think
pot.
this is what I think, and I may catch some slack for this.
You know,
I
over
think,
time, I've seen.
I think law
I've
enforcement.
seen a few minds withered away over
that's
over
true.
time.
I know a guy who OD'd on pot. He napped for like 9 hours or something. It was
But
unbelievable.
that's what the legislators are for. Law enforcement is to enforce the laws. They
Yeah,
don't make
yeah.
the laws, and when we have law enforcement maybe trying to play,
I think it's
legislator.
Tough. I think it's tough for law enforcement because they once, according to the sheriff, part of the problem is that we have no way of determining if someone is under the influence of marijuana and driving a vehicle. Now, I had someone say to me the other day, was it you or somebody said, well, if there's no evidence, no visual evidence of the person being under the influence of marijuana, then maybe they are okay to drive, which I do not support, but I'm just saying.
I mean, it goes along just like with anything, as far as people using marijuana, it's like alcohol. There has to be a limit. I wouldn't suggest driving a car after using a marijuana product. It's it's potentially irresponsible. People have been doing it since there's been marijuana, though. I'm sure there's people flying. You're getting on planes. You're getting on buses.
Right.
It's happening. Just like
It's happening right now, even if it's not legal.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so to wrap all this up, you're opening a business that's going to dig into.
I'm going.
This.
One of the products will be CBD and hemp, and right now one of the products of this is hemp flower. So this looks like marijuana. It smells like marijuana. It has all of the cannabinoids as marijuana, but it comes from the mother plant, the cannabis sativa plant. So it's going to be, this is a thing that's going to be happening, and this is the beginning stages. And
When you say flower, is it
the buds?
the buds.
The buds.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks just like it.
But it doesn't have the
Doesn't
same
have
level of the THC.
No, it does not have.
So it's not going to make you high.
No.
However,
It will give you a feeling of relaxation, and,
Okay.
and people that use CBD products should see how they feel after they use them as far as using heavy equipment or driving, because it'll tell you right on there.
Yeah.
Like, you're so relaxed. It's like
Yeah.
if you take a melatonin, you're not going to get in your car and drive.
Oh,
But
you can't? I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Last time I did that, I forgot what happened. So
Okay.
Melatonin. No, that's just the stuff that helps you sleep.
It
That's
does,
all.
too.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
I take it every night, melatonin.
do you really?
Yeah.
The gummies, or how do you take it?
It's a pill. I don't know.
Yeah, I
just thought it
usually
was
do the dissolvable tablets because I can't sleep at night. Like 10:30 rolls around, I'm like, time to get up. Meantime, so I have to take something to go.
I
to go
find
down.
that I don't know if that crap helps. To be honest with you, I don't know if it does, but I take it in hopes that it does.
I take
Just
the-
like everything else. All
I
the
take the
medicine you
gummies,
take
and
is,
it's like an Ambien for me. Like I was prescribed Ambien before. If I have a hard
the
time,
melatonin
gummies. Yeah, you're like
Okay.
2 of them, and it's like I'm stumbling to the fridge right before
Really?
I fall asleep.
Wow.
Yeah, they work well.
Okay, interesting. I had no idea I was taking that. I just my wife. She said, "Here, take this."
Yeah, try
okay,
the gummies.
Okay.
So can we go back to
They're good.
the business just for a second?
Yeah.
So you'll be selling this stuff. It's got the CBD in it.
CBD. High
You need a
CBD.
prescription to get this. You need
There's
a
no
license to get
prescription
it?
needed. There's no regulation on it right now. I've spent months sourcing my products.
Well, they're looking at it though.
oh yeah, I'm
'cause
sure.
we've
I'm
seen-
sure it's coming. I'm
Yeah.
sure it's coming.
They got to
soon.
make money off it somehow.
For me, I'm sourcing high quality products from Oregon, where a lot of the hemp is grown, from Colorado,
Okay.
where hemp is grown.
Can I just I just want to see if you agree with me on one point.
Okay.
All this stuff with marijuana and CBD, the legalization of it, the licensing of it, regulation of it, that only drives the price up, right?
It does. It does. I ran for the border and went to Massachusetts, and eighths of marijuana there are $50. After the tax, I think it ends up being $60.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be a viable black
And
market price.
what would you pay for that if you bought it here illegally?
I don't know, maybe 35.
Okay, so it's double in price.
But
almost.
the benefit of it, buying it at a dispensary, is you get a lab report of everything and all the different cannabinoids in there, because it's not just the THC.
Yeah.
There's other cannabinoids that are beneficial, along with the terpenes, which facilitate. Have you heard of terpenes?
You're
No,
like
I've never
speaking
heard
a
of that.
foreign language.
The
to my
Maryland,
head,
the Maryland
yeah, the
terpenes.
turtle. There's a,
my English teacher in 10th grade was Mrs. Turpin, but other than that, I have zero clue.
Terpenes are parts of the plants. They're in all plants that give flavor, color, and they help facilitate. One of the main terpenes in marijuana is myrcene. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. And it's across the board. So it's where you get the lemon flavor. It's why things taste like pepper in plants, all these different things. But they also help facilitate the buzz. So, you have different strains of weed, and that's contingent upon the different terpene profiles in each plant. And they breed that for that. And the same thing's going on with hemp now, where, they could breed it so it's high in CBD, one of the cannabinoids, but there's also CBD, CBG, CBN, THC, THC, Delta-9, which is the psychoactive one. So there's a lot that is in these cannabis plants that we don't even know about yet. CBD is not even the potentially best cannabinoid yet. There's other ones that are in lower concentrations that could do other things.
All right.
It's an
so
in-depth conversation.
you're opening a business going into this. It's called Soul Remedy Apothecary, and it'll be over there in South Utica.
Right. Stop and see. We're going to be doing hypnosis, psychic readings, crystals.
You're such a great cook, and you're just done.
And then you're switching over to hypnosis. I mean,
he's
going to
do edibles at some point.
Since 2012.
You do edibles at some point when it's legal.
We're going to do some edibles.
All right.
I got something in the mix, potentially in California.
All right.
So
all right. Now, just to wrap this all up, you at one time, I think, one time when you were in, talked about how you had addiction problems, and so you have cracked that problem.
It's been a
and what kind of drugs are we talking about?
Oh, okay. So, back in the day, cocaine was, back in the 80s when I was a kid. No.
Yeah.
But, it was serious. It was alcohol, cocaine, and that's pretty rampant in the food industry. Good thing they're not checking, they're doing drug tests at any of the local restaurants, because nobody would be eating in Utica. Trust me on that.
All right.
Okay, I'm not even joking.
Speak from your own experience.
Okay.
Allegedly.
As Larry Elder would say, is this thing on? I hope not.
I
really hope not.
But since you've been following down this road,
I can have a drink. I know that after 2 drinks, I don't like the feeling of it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't want to go down that road. Get drunk, everybody's going to be running down to the corner and calling whoever, because you're thinking differently once that alcohol gets to you. Alcohol is the main thing that
I love the running down to the corner part. But, but you're past that.
I'm past it.
Yeah, okay. All right, Tucker, thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I love coming on.
Very interesting business opening up in South Utica. And there'll be more things like this, I think, to come.
I think so.
You're seeing it in Colorado and Massachusetts and places like that.